Hey everybody, Jeff Sutherland and Chase Waldron with eXp Realty, and we're excited to show you the information and data from March of 2025. It is getting good for buyers, isn't it, Chase?
100%. We are staying busy. We got a lot of buyers that we're helping. We're seeing good negotiations happen. It's a very, very good time for buyers.
Absolutely. Let's start off with the mortgage rates, shall we? The mortgage rates have been slowly going down. And at this time, we're sitting here in the first week or so of April. We're sitting at around 6.8%. I'm not a professional forecaster, but the way I see it, when I show you the data we're going to show you today, I wouldn't be surprised if the rates continue to slowly glide down the rest of the year. So let's get right into it. We're seeing more and more supply hit the market, and we're going to show you some amazing data today. Look at inflation. People were concerned about inflation. Well, actually, it just took a step toward the better rate in March. So it went from 3 in 2025 and to start off at 3, and in February it was sitting at 2.8. So we will be seeing the numbers soon for March. We'll release those, but inflation is being tampered and it is under control right now, which is a good thing. Now let's talk a little bit about luxury and the luxury market. There's a few things that do affect it. And you'll see that we're having more and more prices that are elevated into the millions, but there are buyers that pump the brakes when things happen in the market. For example, stock market performance. We have the tariff implementation, any uncertainty, cryptocurrencies. There's all kinds of different things that make luxury buyers take pause or go in and buy. So we're going to touch a little bit about that market as well today. The more uncertainty, the more they will sit back and wait, especially in the stock market. Now, a lot of people are like, what's going on with the stock market? Again, we're sitting here in April looking back at March, but you can see throughout history, especially over the last 6 years, if something happened in the economy, tariff negotiations, COVID, Fed hikes, inflation, Fed raising the rates again, 3 banks failing, war in Israel, you're always going to see a hit to the stock market. But if you notice one thing, the general trend is upward. And so I like to tell people, don't panic if things happen in the marketplace. Things always correct themselves. And in general, it's going upward on a nice, steady rate.
All right. And this shows the accepted contracts on a weekly count. So we are a seasonal trend here in Arizona, and we are following that trend here in 2025. You are seeing those accepted contracts go up right now. It's still during the busy season, these first 4 or 5 months when it's really nice here in town. The accepted contract amounts are up, and then we're slowly going to decrease as we're getting into summer and follow that same seasonal trend that you can see there in 2024 and in years past. And then here is the weekly trends, the accepted contracts from purchase prices between $250,000 and $500,000. And you can see that that has shot up just recently between those price points. So we're seeing a lot more accepted contracts in that price range there.
Absolutely. And let's talk about what's happening with the general trends in the valley. That's including Pinal and Maricopa County. Look at this. Look at the graph on the left and the dial on the left. Now we have supply that is at a balanced rate, almost exactly 100. 100 means balance. On the far right, you're going to see demand. Demand continues to be sluggish. It's sitting at 80% of what would be normal demand at 100. And then so when you look at supply and demand, then you have the main indicator, which is the Cromford Market Index, our secret sauce, which is in the middle, and that's at 80%. So now the whole valley in general is in a buyer's market. I'm talking a pretty good buyer's market at 80. Just a few months ago, it was more towards 100. Now it's at 80. Look at the supply line on the lower left-hand corner. That continues to go up. More supply comes up, you have sluggish demand, and things are getting better and better for buyers. And then look at this graph. Remember, 100 equals a balanced market. If you look at September, it started to dip down. Then it took a little, it got going a little bit towards the end of the year and into January. And look what's been going on through the end of January until today. Nothing but a steep decline. It's becoming better and better for buyers. Remember, you can't time the bottom of the market. You can never time it. Now is a great time. This is like only the 4th buyer's market in the last 25 years in Phoenix. Okay, if you look at the supply, that little blue line all the way to the right, you'll see it's gone straight up, right? And demand continues to be sluggish. Buyers have more choices. There's more choices out there, and sellers have to put an outstanding product on the market for them to get a deal. If it's subpar, it's going to sit out there. It's going to sit out there for months. So right now is a great time to be a buyer. You have more choices and you have more leverage. Look at this. As I said, we've only had a few buyers markets since 2001. We had the debacle of 2006 through 8, 2010, a slight dip in 22, and now look at us now in 2025. And it seems to just keep getting better and better. I expect the summer to be amazing for buyers. And it, just to finish it up, look at these tried and true sellers markets. Places like Gilbert, Scottsdale, Chandler, they continue to decrease. For example, even though Chandler is the third biggest sellers market, it continues to go down every month. It's going down. So there could be some of these cities in the sellers market that go right into the buyers market by late summer. And we could be by the late summer in the fall, we could have just about everything in the valley being a buyer's market. Isn't that crazy? So now is the time to get in there. And then you're going to see also on this graph here, some of these cities on the left, again, you're going to see them flop over to the right, the ones that are just hanging above the balance level.
All right, and this one here, this is showing the appreciation. So as you can see over the last year, we have seen about a 2.8% appreciation throughout that last year. And then there at the end of the graph, you're seeing it's starting to flatline. And with all of these indicators that we've talked about today, we will not be surprised if we start to see that appreciation go down even into the summer and have negative appreciation. So only time will tell, but that's what it's kind of trending towards. And then this one here, this is appreciation by price range. So price per square foot. As you can see, the highest amount of appreciation are between that 1.5 and $3 million price points. Down low, under 300, you're actually seeing negative, which is interesting. But the highest amount there are on those upper priced homes in between 1.5 and 3 million. And then this one here, this is sale by price range. So as you can see, same thing. Between 1 million up over 3, we're seeing a lot more of an increase. And then under 500,000, we're actually seeing a negative. So very, very interesting sales by price range there.
It's interesting, Chase, because those lower price points, you think there'd be more sales, but we have such low supply at those price points. And so it's very difficult to get in. There's lower supply. And now as we get more supply entering the market, that makes it easier, but we still have an affordability problem. So that is why I think we're seeing those lower sales counts and those lower prices, because when those are on the market, they go very quickly, but they're few and far between now. And then if you look at this graph here, you're looking at $1 million listings. We used to think, boy, oh boy, who's $1 million owner anymore? Well, there's a lot of them out there. You look just like 5 years ago, back to 2020, during COVID, we had 236 sales over $1 million. That's crazy. This is in March, by the way. Now look at March, 599. Are you kidding me? 599 over $1 million sales. That's like practically double. It's like almost literally double from what we did back in 20. So this is crazy. You know, don't be surprised if you're living next to the $1 million person next door. It's happening more and more often. Now look at this graph here. The new listings, they're taking off in 2025, almost 16% higher than 2024. And when Chase gets into these next few graphs, you're going to see there's a lot of supply hitting the market. There's a lot of opportunity for buyers, which is pretty darn exciting. Now, last thing on these condos, Fannie Mae is starting to blacklist some of these condo developments because these condo associations are linking up with other associations, and they're trying to buy cheaper limited insurance policies. Well, Fannie Mae is looking at it as a huge risk, and it's not meeting their underwriting standards. So you're seeing a lot of these condo associations, you can't get in, you can't get a loan on them. So it's paralyzing these lower priced home sales. That's another reason why you're seeing a little less, because the underwriting is more strict. So be careful when you're buying a condo to do the due diligence up front and ask the right questions on the insurance side.
All right. So moral of the story, right? It's a really great time for buyers. This is showing here we would like a price reduction and a credit for closing costs. There's a lot of deals that are going on. the buyers are having more purchase power. So as we can see, days on market is up right now. So this shows March 2025 versus March in years previous, and it is higher than all of the years back since 2014. So that's very interesting. 34 days on the market. And then here we can see the weekly price reductions, right? Here in 2025, they have drastically increased. You can see from right after October of 24, they start to skyrocket and they continue to increase. So as things are sitting on the market longer, we're seeing many more price reductions take place. And then here it is on a weekly basis. So it's shown here 13,913 for 4 weeks prior to that point, which is 66% increase from the previous year at this same time. So a lot more price reductions. Things are sitting. If things are not priced aggressively, if it's not good product, we're seeing it sit a lot longer and we're seeing a lot more price reductions. And then concessions. Almost half of the transactions right now are getting concessions, where the seller is covering either closing costs for the buyer, a rate buy down, or a number of different things. They are chipping in and giving a credit to the buyer at closing.
So really, like with the price reductions, Chase, we have like almost half of all of the active listings in the multiple listing service that took price reductions in March. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, a little over 26,000 listings currently on the market. And yeah, that was shown over 13,000 for that 4-week time period, which is pretty insane.
Moral of the story, if you've been a buyer and you're sitting on the sidelines and you're like, I just can't do it. The affordability is too hard for me. I'm tapping out. It's getting better. You might want to look again. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of lending programs that are helping buyers get into homes. Chase is writing deals all the time for people and going out there and looking at these new home communities. It's incredible the kind of incentives that these buyers are getting to move into these homes. So just take a look at it. Let's meet with each other and let's find out what your purchasing power is. I think you'd be surprised. Right now, there's a lot of good deals happening. Back to you, Chase.
100%. Yeah. And this shows here, this chart is the concessions for a price point. So what's interesting is the highest amount of concessions being given is between that 350,000 and 400,000 price point. 61% of those transactions, of the transactions within that price range, are getting seller concessions with a median of $10,488. So that shows you right there, 61%, the median is $10,000 that are given to these buyers in that price point.
And when you work with our team, we are fierce negotiators. We don't mess around. It's your money. It's well-earned money, hard-earned money. We're going to work very hard to get you every penny possible in the deals we do. So just to kind of, close, guys, this is a great opportunity. We don't have very many buyers markets in Phoenix because continually people keep coming here. The jobs keep coming here. Great companies are coming here and expanding. TSMC, $165 billion expansion in North Phoenix. Mayo Clinic, over almost $2 billion of an expansion. We have companies like Procter & Gamble in the Pinal County area that's expanding. This is the area to be because we have great employment. We have great weather, except for the summer. Most of it's great. And we welcome you. If you're out of state, come call us. Let us know you're with us. Let us know how we can serve you. Chase and I work really hard at this business. Collectively, we've got like 35 years of experience in the real estate sector. So we're here to help you. And any last word, Chase, before we sign off?
I would just say reach out, let us know. We can have a conversation. We have a whole VIP buyer program talking about buyers, of certain things that we go above and beyond for our buyer clients that we love to talk about. We can run through that and we can get you in touch with the right lending professional. If you're looking for options on what that purchasing power might be, reach out and we can talk through that and at least give you an idea of what your options are.
We educate, we empower, and we help you get into a home and start building equity. So thanks, my friends. And we look forward to talking to you real soon.